I am Teclia, a senator of the planet Grox. I am also chairman of the Intergalactic War Council. We are an organization within the Galactic Federation, made of many military-centric planets. 50 years ago, the planet Earth was once again brought under review to see if humanity was ready to join the Galactic Federation. A vote was conducted, and barely 51% agreed to let the planet join. After this, Earth rallied behind a city-state known as the United States, formed a new planetary government, and elected new senators for their new seats in the Senate. Since humanity was less advanced than other species, they received only 2 seats. Minuscule, really, compared to Grox's 20 seats. The entire War Council, including myself, was very unhappy that we allowed another weak species into our great planetary alliance. However, we had more pressing matters to deal with. An old race of warrior-type aliens, known as Monstorians, have returned to one of our sectors and have begun an invasion. Now, I must state our version of war is much different than that of humans. Our idea of war boils down to evacuating the invaded planet. With so many planets, we see no reason in shedding blood for one that we have no real attachment to. When gathering planets to join the war effort, the humans were one of the first to volunteer their new military. It showed initiative and bravery. However, we still didn't see them as anything more than a failed attempt at evolution. Oh, how wrong we were. Many militaries landed on the planet and were prepared to defend the civilians so they might escape. Then the human ships came. They were new creations. As they landed, many of the other species began to contemplate what the humans' armor might look like. We got our answer, as out of these ships came men and women in black uniforms, with black armor plating over what had to be their weak points. They had what appeared to be a mixture of a chainsaw and a sword hanging from their belt, a pistol on their other side, and they were carrying heavy assault-level rifles. However, what puzzled us most was the fact that they all wore capes. The leader was easily identified as he wore a gold cape. At least, I was told. The human came up to the other generals and introduced himself. "General Chase of the Human Marines reporting for duty," the human said, saluting the other generals. As a sign of respect, they saluted back, and after walking through the plan again, the evacuation began. Days went by, and everyone stood vigilant in case of an attack. The last day of evacuations came, however, many children refused to leave their homes. In cases like this, protocol is to grab them and throw them into the ship whether they want to or not. While many legions follow protocol, the humans approach more gently toward the scared and stubborn children. Many of the other legions thought that it was a waste of time, but they were silenced real quickly after the humans saved nearly half of the remaining children with their approach. The final orders were given, and the armies were meant to retreat. But then, from the sky, many ships crashed into the planet, and the Monstorians began their assault. The armies boarded their final ships, except the human marines. The general stood at the front. They were told to retreat, but the general began to rally his soldiers. "Brothers and sisters, these aliens may not respect the land they were given. Neither may the Federation, or the cowards that sit on their asses all day and call others weak." At this point, I and the other council members were watching on the screen as this battle played out. We knew he was talking about us, but we did little to dismiss his claim, for deep down we knew he was right. "But not us! We are humans. We know how important it is to fight. Not just for ourselves, but for those who need help. Also, we are more than just humans. We are human marines, the greatest soldiers of Earth's armies. Indeed, we are not gods. We are not prophets of war. We are not immortal legends like the ones of old. However, hear this. There will be 2 types of people here this day. Those who return will be heroes, and those who die will be martyrs. Yet both will be legends." The general rallied his marines. The marines cheered, and the Federation began to clap for the human. "If we die with vengeance on our lips," the general shouted. "Vengeance!" they replied. "For our faith, for our families, for Earth!" the captain shouted, grabbing his chainsword and revving it. The Marines shouted and cheered. Many Senate members began to cry, but others began to panic as the Monstorians gained ground. "What are they doing?" a senator from Mavrius shouted. "Their duty," a senator from Earth answered in a calm voice. "How can you be so calm when your kind is about to be ripped to shreds?" I asked the senator. "We as a species have seen much worse atrocities. It does not affect us anymore," the senator replied. We turned our attention back to the screen, and the other armies were shouting at the humans to retreat as ordered, but they stood strong. The invaders got closer and closer. As they reached a certain point, the general gave the order, and multiple soldiers began firing at many invaders. For hours, the humans battled from both a distance and far from the battlefield. In the end, the humans came out on top. The Monstorians fled the galaxy once again, after seeing the raw force of humanity. The Federation refused to hand out punishments for disobeying direct orders, and Earth received 12 more seats for these Marines' courage and strength. Even the War Council opened a new chair for the human senator that defended his specious actions. In conclusion, the delegates that voted against the humans all those years ago changed their attitudes after that day. However, I saw what everyone else saw that day. Humans may look fragile, but not only were they stronger and braver than other species, but they were also much more relatable and understanding than others. Humans, specifically those made for war, have compassion. Yet this is what confuses me. These humans were something more than just alive, more than just another piece of sentient life. More dangerous, more caring. They have more love, they have more hate, and they are not like us. So I ask anyone who might be able to answer, what are human Marines?